Man, this thing is gorgeous.
Except those things.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about putting back together your Brembos. These are all taken apart. I had them powder coated by my good buddy Brad over at Utah Powder Works. I'd given to them right before I left Utah. I'm glad to have these. He just opened up his own shop and he's doing it full time, so I'm super proud of him. Today I'm going to show you guys how to put these back together. So these halves. The rears, you're going to need an O-ring. And before you get any further, I just want to put it out there right now. I'm going to put the link in the description box of the correct O-rings. And these O-rings are specific ones. They will not come in the rebuild kits from like Girodisc or Girodisc, however you say their name. Because the rebuild kits are not meant for them to be taken apart. In fact, Brembo actually recommends that you don't take these apart. So I'm just going to put it out there for what it is. If it ends up going terrible, I've got another set of Brembos that I'm going to redo. Don't want to, but hey, that's part of the game. Now that you know about the O-ring, cool, just wanted to put that out there. These guys, you want to use certain things. Brake fluid as a lubricant. Don't use grease. Grease and brake fluid don't go together. They don't mix, just don't use them. You have a seal that goes in the middle. See that guy right there? And then you have another little top hat for these pistons. But the way that they come from Girodisc, or here again, however you say them, that little seal is in the middle right there. And I'm gonna see if I can show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm gonna push that out, or push that in, and then I'm gonna pop up and hey. It actually kind of threw me off at first of me wondering where is my other seal. Because I'm still waiting on those O-rings, I'm going to start with the fronts. The fronts, you'll notice that there's two different sizes. There's a smaller one and a larger. So you have your pistons over here. This is an old seal, don't worry about that. So you have a small one and then you have four large ones. Two of them are going to go per one caliper for the large ones, and then the rears just have those ones back there. Anyway, small one fits in, if I can get the right angle, hey, just like that. Should be able to go in just like that. And then the opposite, and it should be right there. And then this one obviously is too large, that's where the larger ones come in. I can start by throwing these top hats onto these small pistons. What I want to do is put a little bit of brake fluid on them. And what I'm going to need to do is have some gloves on for that, because I really don't want that touching anything else. I also want to make sure that that does not get on there. That will ruin paint. I want to be pretty easy with it. So I just want to do the inside a little bit. I don't want it getting everywhere, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about when I put them on. So what you want to do before you do anything, take a wet towel, some brake clean, and just go around. Make sure you get rid of any bougie stuff that's going on within your pistons, some dirt, anything like that. See, you want to get rid of all that stuff. A clean piston is a good piston. So those dudes are clean. What I have with me is some really good brake fluid. It doesn't even have a label on it, that's how good it is. I have some Motul 660. Stuff's really good. It's a .4 fluid, but it's racing brake fluid, and the temperatures are really high. So I just want to dip my fingers in here on the seal, and then on the inside of the caliper, or on the inside of the seal, sorry, on the inside, just so when it rolls over it's fine. Shouldn't be an issue. I'm just going to shut it because that's not necessary. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw those little seals on these guys. And the way to tell if it's on all the way, see how that seal, that lower lip, on there, means that it's in there. That's how they're supposed to look. Now for the insides, we have these seals right here, and what I want to do is really no way, there's no upside or downside to them. These seals just go in, so there's no orientation of them. They're just pretty, it's just another flat O-ring. And these guys, because that's a small one, and I have the two big ones over here. Small one's going to go in like so, and it's going to go in like that, and you just need to kind of massage it in there. You can throw some, if you're going to use any type of fluid or lubricant on it, I would use brake fluid. Brake fluid and other things don't mix all that well. So that's my recommendation on that. So I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed. More than likely I'm not going to be able to. Just going to go in there. And again, I'm just going to massage it in. Just going to see if it'll take. Don't want anything to break. And again, it may not be the best. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so if you're gonna make fun of me for it, at least do it in the comment section. There we go. So that guy's in there. That seal is now in there. Now what I'm going to do for these pistons, I'm going to throw some brake fluid on the inside of these, and then I'm going to drop it in like so. And the only reason why I'm throwing some type of lubrication on that is because I do not want that metal messing with that seal right there. So we're doing it to protect the seal. And as far as how much you want, you just want a little bit. I'm going to take my piston, leave that right there. Open up some brake fluid. Again, just a little finger. A little bit of a finger, and I'm just gonna pull that around, man. That's all I'm gonna do. Just gonna roll that around. Just a very light coating. I'll go over here, throw it in there, and then there we go. Starting to go, which is good. Make sure that's nice and tight down there, and then I'm going to press around the seal and make sure that that is all there. Again, also going to wipe my hands off. Now going to press around the seals, make sure that they are in all the way. Make sure the piston's in all the way. Hello, neighbor. I should be good, just like that. Should be fine, because again, those seals form around here. So as long as it's all around there, you're fine. I just need to go through, wipe everything off, make sure I didn't get any brake fluid on the paint. I'm gonna do that to all the rest of these four, and then I'm gonna get back to you guys. All right, so I don't enjoy waiting. So I'm pretty bad at that part. I'm very impatient. When it comes to parts, I am gonna be throwing on these dudes, which should go something like so. Should go like that. Should rest up just like that. And then I have these bolts. These are Cerakoted, and unfortunately for me, these are the T fittings. I think it is T30. Mine are Cerakoted though, so the insides are gonna be a little iffy. So glad I got a T27 here. So before I throw in these guys, always have a little bit of thread locker. I am gonna be using the blue stuff. If you don't want these coming apart, you know, hey, you can use the red stuff, but that's a personal call. And for me, I think I'm gonna be totally fine with the blue stuff. Put a little bit of blue on there. Get that started by hand. I would not recommend doing this and then just throwing a tool on them. I don't recommend that with anything really. You want to make sure that they're started by hand, because you don't want to strip any threads. Nobody wants to strip any threads. Break parts, not hearts. We're going to get them nice and snug. I don't know the torque value on them. All I know is that my elbow tells me when they're done. And that comes through many years of messing around and finding out. Now that they are there, after that, it's bolt time. It's a whole bunch of bolts. So I'm gonna kind of have these guys kind of together, kind of. And what I can do now is throw a couple of bolts through them. Got ahead of myself. Thread locker. You want to make sure this stuff is on there. So for that big of an Allen key, 10. It is 10. So I got them snug by hand. I don't think I have a 10 in a socket. Holy cow, I do. I almost forgot. Almost. So shame on me. So the top of whatever caliper you were going to put where, I don't really think the orientation of it really is going to matter because it's about the same. But so like this guy is going to be my driver's side. So on the tops you'll have your bleeder screws, and on the bottom you're going to have these guys. As far as the orientation goes, let me go over here. So now that I have the wheels off. So see how that one's kind of it's a 90-degree bend, or 45, whatever I want to say. It's yeah, 90. I'll just go with 90. It's a 90-degree bend. You know, that one's off at an angle. That's my front. And this one is going to go like that. And then they just go in like that, man. Forgot to put that in the video, and I'm putting it in there now. It's extremely hot outside. It's extremely hot inside the garage, so there's no easy way to do this. I just got off work. I was having an issue trying to put the crossover lines on. So before you go and crank these pieces together, what you want to do is install these guys. Otherwise you will not be able to install them. So just notice I had to come back and edit this. Learn from my mistake. Enjoy the rest of the video. These look pretty rad. Cerakoted hardware. Too bad a majority of people aren't going to see, you know, the black, but the hardware is great. I know that they have some thread locker on them now. This is the driver's side. Gonna look like that. I'm really happy about how these came out. These things are all good to go. They're not totally perfect because there's no paint, you know, over here. The torque that I found for these ones is actually 80 plus or minus 7 foot-pounds. Try to get it as best as you can. It's tight, man. It's tight, and these things move. My suggestion was you probably shouldn't have taken them apart to begin with. So I have these guys done. The rears, I started adding the little pieces to them. So happy that those will be on shortly. Stoked, man. So I finally got these O-rings. I got a pack of 10. Again, the link for these O-rings is in the description. You have to buy a minimum of 10 of these. So I'm gonna have 8, and hopefully I have 8 for some time, meaning that these are the right ones and they don't leak. I've already pre-assembled the little hardware that goes on the inside of these calipers. I would like to note that these small calipers get the small little pieces right there, comparatively to those guys right there. These ones are significantly wider than these little dudes. Try to give an idea. There you go. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Well, until I have a logical reason to get a really good camera, I'm kind of just sticking with the GoPro. I have this hardware all installed. I used blue Loctite on the bolts, and I would suggest you use blue Loctite on these bolts as well. Same thing is gonna happen with these guys. You are going to set them on their sides, which I'm gonna try to do just all 4 at the same time. Throw the pistons in, throw the seals in. That's it. The rears do not come with 4. They come with two because it's just one piston a side, not two a side. They're both the same size. This one goes in there. Same thing as the front. I also want to remind you that when you take these out, there's a chance that you're going to get some scratchings and some indents on the sides. So my suggestion is just take a little bit of sandpaper, even it out so the piston has the ability to be able to move back and forth, but not super easily. This is the part right here. Now if you see these two, there's a hole on both sides and an O-ring. Make sure that those holes line up. I'm looking at myself when I'm saying this. So I'm gonna go back over the process of doing this because I did it and oh me. So I'm gonna lift these guys up just a little bit, and as you can see, that O-ring is still in there. It's still within the grooves, has not moved. Let's set that guy down, all the way down. I'm gonna leave it in this orientation right now. Now, why am I doing that? It's less likely to move around. So I wanna get these guys going. Cool, that one's in. That one's in. So I know that O-ring is now not going to be going anywhere. I'm going to keep it this way, even while I'm doing this side. Just another way of making sure that, hey, what I'm doing right now doesn't mess up. Because I'm going to be honest, man, I do not want to pull these off. That is one that is all done. Now, hole. They go together like so. Okay, these guys are good. Now I'm going to bust out my torque wrench. 30. Out. So unfortunately for me, I had one of my bolts completely stripped and break off inside the caliper. I can get it drilled out. I'm gonna do that on my own. It's a pain. It's not a fun process, but it is what it is. I noticed that these wouldn't really want to go over like 20 foot-pounds according to the digital readout on my torque wrench. So I would just do them good and tight with a little ratchet. So these ones right here, is I'll put this off to the side. That should be good and tight. I got lucky. While this bolt may have broken, I just went into my local Ace Hardware. I read online that it was 40 foot-pounds for these guys, and then it was 80 for these guys. Just make them tight. These ones wouldn't go over like 25 foot-pounds. They were stripping out. These are aluminum. Don't over tighten them. Make them about as tight as you possibly can by hand with a ratchet, and you'll know. Make them nice and tight. I got extremely lucky that I didn't have to go to a machine shop for that. Extremely lucky. Let me put these back together real fast. I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Like and subscribe if you guys like what I got going on. Let me know if there's information out there that I didn't know about. Let me know if I did it wrong. Let me know if I did it the improper way. Dream or do, it's up to you. Till next time.